Hey everyone, welcome back to Teach Easy English. This is the place to relax, stream real conversational English, and upgrade your skills. I'm Daisy.
And I'm Dave. Welcome back, everyone. It is so fantastic to be here with you today, Daisy. I am feeling very energetic today.
I can tell, Dave, you have a lot of energy today, and that is absolutely perfect because our topic is all about social energy.
Yes, today we are talking about how to make friends naturally and freely using simple English social.
Making new friends can feel scary when you are learning a new language, but you do not need perfect grammar to connect with people.
I completely agree, Daisy. When I meet someone new, I do not care if they make a small grammar mistake. I just care if they're friendly.
Exactly. So today, we are going to look at the exact words and phrases you can use to talk to people easily.
Let's start with what happens before we even say hello. We need to talk about our body language and how we look at people.
That is so important, Dave. If you are looking down at your phone with a sad face, nobody will walk up to talk to you.
Right. You need to lift your head, make quick eye contact, and give a warm smile because a smile is international.
A smile tells the other person that you are friendly and safe to talk to, which makes the conversation start smoothly.
Okay, so imagine you see someone at a coffee shop or in your English class. You smile at them. What is the next step?
You use a simple conversation opener. You can start with a basic greeting like, "Hi there, how's it going?"
Or you can say, hello, beautiful day today, isn't it? English speakers love to talk about the weather when they start a conversation.
They really do. Another great option is to talk about the situation you are in right now, which we call a situational comment.
Oh, like if you were waiting in a very slow line, you can say to the person next to you, wow, this line is moving slowly today.
Exactly, Dave. It's an easy way to start because both of you are experiencing the exact same thing at that moment.
What if you were sitting at a table in a busy classroom? What can you say to the person next to you?
You can ask a simple question like, "Excuse me, is anyone sitting here?" Or you can say, "Hi, are you a student in this class too?"
Those are perfect because they're low pressure. The other person can answer easily, and then you can introduce yourself.
Right. After they answer, you can just say, "By the way, I'm Daisy," and then wait for them to tell you their name.
Let's try a quick example right now, Daisy. Let's pretend we're waiting at a bus stop and we don't know each other.
Okay, I will start. Wow, it is really cold out here today, isn't it?
Yes, it's freezing. I think the bus is late today, too.
I think you're right. The morning bus is usually much faster than this.
Definitely. By the way, I'm Dave. I live in the apartment building across the street.
Nice to meet you, Dave. I'm Daisy. I'm visiting my friend who lives nearby.
Look at that. We just started a natural conversation out of nowhere just by talking about the cold weather.
Exactly. It feels very comfortable and free. But what happens after you exchange names, Dave? How do you keep the conversation alive?
To keep a conversation going, you need to ask open questions using the classic question words like what, where, why, and who.
Yes, open questions are magic because the other person has to give a longer answer, not just a simple yes or no.
Right. If I ask you, do you like this city? You can just say yes, and then the conversation stops and feels awkward.
But if you ask me, what do you like about this city? Then I can tell you a whole story about my favorite parks and cafes.
That's the secret. You ask a question with what or where, and then you can just relax and listen to their answer.
Let's practice changing closed questions into open questions so our listeners can hear the difference clearly.
Okay, I'll give a closed question first. Do you have any hobbies?
That's okay, but the open version is much better, which is, what do you like to do in your free time?
Nice. Here's another one. Do you like your job?
The open version would be, what is the most interesting part of your job? See how that opens the door for a real conversation?
It really does. Another great question word is where. You can ask someone, where did you grow up? Or where do you usually go on weekends?
Those questions are fantastic because people love talking about their lives and their personal experiences.
But while they're talking, you can't just stand there completely silent, Daisy. You have to show that you're listening.
Yes, we call this active listening. In English, we use small words and short phrases to show our interest and emotion.
For example, if someone tells you some good news, you can say, "Wow, that's amazing," or "Oh, how nice."
And if they tell you something surprising, you can say, "Oh, really?" Or you can casually say, "No way."
No way is a very popular phrase among friends. It just means you are happy and surprised by the information.
What if they're just telling you a normal fact about their day? What can you say to show you're listening?
You can use short phrases like, "Ah, I see," or "That makes sense," or even just "interesting."
Let's try it. Dave, tell me a quick fact about your week, and I'll show you my active listening.
Well, last night I tried to cook a new recipe for dinner, but I accidentally burned the food.
Oh, no way! What happened? Did you have to order a pizza instead?
Yes, I ended up ordering a large pepperoni pizza at 9 o'clock at night.
That is hilarious. At least you got some delicious pizza in the end.
Exactly. Notice how Daisy used phrases like, "Oh, no way," and "What happened?" to make me feel comfortable to continue my story.
It shows that I am paying attention to you and that I care about what you're saying, which helps build a connection.
Connecting with people becomes even easier when you find common ground, which means things that you both like.
Yes, when someone says something that matches your life, you can use the easiest phrase in the world, which is, me too.
For example, if you say, "I love drinking hot coffee in the morning," I can instantly say, "Me too."
What if the sentence is negative, Dave? What if I say, I don't like loud places?
For negative sentences, we do not say "me too," we say "me neither." It is a very important rule for A1 learners.
Let's practice that. I don't like waiting in long lines at the supermarket.
Me neither. It is so boring. Another phrase you can use for both positive and negative sentences is "same here."
Same here is wonderful. If I say, I'm so tired today, you can just reply, same here, and the meaning is perfect.
Another conversational bridge we use is the phrase, "That reminds me." You use this when their story makes you think of a similar story.
Oh, yes, if you tell me that you went to a great movie last weekend, I can say, oh, that reminds me, I saw a wonderful documentary yesterday.
This keeps the conversation moving naturally back and forth like a tennis game, instead of feeling like an interrogation or a test.
Let's talk about some specific action words we use when we talk about friends. English speakers love phrasal verbs for social life.
The most common one is definitely hang out. To hang out just means to spend time together relaxing or doing something fun.
Right. You can ask a new acquaintance, do you want to hang out sometime this week? It sounds very casual and friendly.
Another good phrasal verb is get along with someone, which means you have a friendly and peaceful relationship with them.
For example, I can say, I really get along with my new coworker. He has a great sense of humor.
We also use the phrase hit it off when two people become friends instantly from the very first moment they meet.
Yes, like if you meet someone at a party and you talk for hours, you can say, we really hit it off last night.
And finally, when you want to remain friends in the future, you use the phrasal verb keep in touch.
Keep in touch means you will continue to message each other or call each other so you do not lose the connection.
So when you're saying goodbye to someone, you can smile and say, "It was great talking to you. Let's keep in touch."
That is the perfect transition to the next step, which is exchanging contact information so you can actually become true friends.
This is the moment where many people get nervous because they don't know how to ask for a phone number or a social media profile.
But nowadays, it's very low pressure because most people just ask for an Instagram username or a messaging app like WhatsApp.
Yes, asking for social media feels very safe and casual. You can just say, "Hey, are you on Instagram? Let's connect there."
Or you can say, I have to go now, but I really enjoyed our conversation. Can I get your WhatsApp number?
Once they give it to you, it's a great habit to send a quick text immediately so they have your name on their phone.
Right. You can just text them, Hi, this is Daisy from the coffee shop. Great meeting you today.
That's a smart tip because it reminds them who you are and it makes it very easy to start a conversation later to plan a time to hang out.
Let's try some complete conversations from start to finish now, Dave, so our listeners can hear how naturally all these pieces fit together.
Great idea. Let's do our first scenario.
Let's pretend we're both at a mutual friend's birthday party and we're standing near the food table.
Wow, this chocolate cake looks absolutely incredible, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm definitely going to take a big piece in a few minutes.
Me too. I love anything with chocolate. By the way, I'm Daisy.
Hi, Daisy. I'm Dave. Are you a colleague of Sarah's from her office?
No, actually, Sarah and I went to university together a few years ago. What about you?
Oh, I see. Sarah and I work together at the bank downtown.
Oh, interesting. Do you enjoy working at the bank?
It's a good job, but it can be quite stressful sometimes. What do you do for work, Daisy?
I'm a primary school teacher, so my days are very loud but very fun.
Wow, that sounds lovely. Teachers do such important work. Do you live near this area?
Yes, my apartment is only 10 minutes away from here. I love this neighborhood because there are so many nice parks.
Same here. I go running in the Central Park every Saturday morning.
Oh, really? I love walking my dog there on weekends. It's a beautiful place.
That's fantastic. Maybe we'll see each other there sometime. Hey, I see my coworker calling me over there, but it was wonderful to meet you, Daisy.
It was great meeting you too, Dave.
Are you on Instagram? Let's connect so we can stay in touch.
Sure, my username is @DaisyTeacher. Let's definitely hang out sometime.
Perfect. I just found your profile. Have a great night, Daisy.
Thanks. You too, Dave. Bye.
That conversation felt completely natural and easy, and we used all our basic A1 tools perfectly.
Yes, we started with a comment about the cake, introduced our names, asked open questions about work and location, found common ground about the park, and exchanged social media at the end.
Let's do another scenario to give our listeners more examples. Let's pretend it is the first day of a conversation group at a local library.
Excuse me, hi there. Is anyone using this chair next to you?
Hello. No, nobody is sitting here. You can take it.
Thank you so much. The room is quite crowded today, isn't it?
Yes, it really is. I think a lot of people want to practice their English skills this month.
That makes sense. Practice is so important. By the way, I am Daisy.
Nice to meet you, Daisy. I am Dave. Is this your first time at this library group?
Yes, it is my very first time here, so I'm feeling a little bit nervous to talk.
Oh, don't worry. Me too. Everyone feels a bit shy on the first day, but the group leader is very nice.
That is good to hear. Where are you from originally, Dave?
I am from Toronto, Canada, but I moved to this city 6 months ago for my studies. And you?
I am from Madrid, Spain. I just arrived here last month to work as an au pair.
Wow, Madrid. I visited Spain a few years ago and I absolutely loved the food.
Oh, really? That is amazing. What was your favorite Spanish dish?
I loved the potato omelet. It was delicious. I ate it almost every single morning.
Oh, me too. I miss Spanish food so much. It's hard to find the right ingredients here.
That reminds me, there's a small Spanish market near the train station that sells authentic items.
Oh, wow, interesting. I didn't know that. What is the name of the market?
I don't remember the exact name, but I can look it up on my phone later.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much for the helpful information.
No problem at all. Hey, the teacher is standing up to start the lesson now, but let's connect on WhatsApp after the class so I can send you the market address.
That sounds like a great idea, Dave. Let's do that during the coffee break.
Perfect. Let's focus on the lesson now.
This second conversation also flowed beautifully because we listened to each other and shared personal details casually.
Exactly. When you mention something you like Spanish food, it gives the other person a chance to share a recommendation or a similar experience.
That is how friendships grow naturally. You just build a chain of topics based on what the other person says.
Let's look at one more scenario, Daisy. Let's imagine we're at a local sports club and we just finished a beginner's tennis session.
Whew, that was a really tough workout today. My legs are so tired.
Same here. The coach made us run from side to side for the whole hour.
I know, it was exhausting, but it was also a lot of fun. I'm Daisy, by the way.
Hi, Daisy. I'm Dave. You play really well for a beginner.
Thank you, Dave. I practiced a little bit when I was a teenager, but I stopped for many years.
Ah, I see. Well, your tennis shots are very powerful. How long have you been a member of the sports club?
I just joined 2 weeks ago because I wanted to do some exercise and meet some new peers. What about you?
I've been coming here for about 2 months now.
I usually come every Thursday afternoon after my office hours.
Oh, cool. Do you do any other sports here or just tennis?
I sometimes use the swimming pool on Wednesday evenings. It's very quiet at that time.
Wow, interesting. I love swimming too, but I don't have a good swimsuit right now.
You should definitely get one. The pool water is always warm and clean.
That sounds lovely. I'll look for a swimsuit online tonight.
Hey, I'm going to the cafe inside the club to grab a cold bottle of water. Do you want to join me?
I would love to. I'm incredibly thirsty after all that running.
Awesome. Let's walk over there together, and we can exchange contact details so we can play a tennis match next week.
That sounds perfect, Dave. Let's do it.
This is another excellent example of using the immediate situation, which was the tough tennis practice, to start a connection.
Yes, sports clubs, language classes, and hobby groups are the best places to make friends freely because you already share a common interest.
Exactly. You don't have to guess what they like because you're both in the same place doing the same activity.
So if you're an A1 English student, joining a club or a group is the easiest first step you can take to practice your social English.
Let's quickly review the absolute basic things our listeners should remember from our conversation today.
First, remember to smile and open your body language before you speak.
Second, use a casual greeting or a comment about the weather or the environment around you to break the ice.
Third, ask open questions with words like what or where to let the other person talk comfortably.
Fourth, show that you're paying attention by using active listening reactions like, "Oh, really?" or "That sounds amazing."
Fifth, say me too or me neither when you find something you both share.
And sixth, always ask for social media or a messaging app at the end so you can keep in touch and hang out again in the future.
If you follow these simple instructions, you will be able to start a conversation with anyone safely and confidently.
Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on being friendly and showing interest in the human being in front of you.
Well, everyone, that is all the time we have for our lesson today. Thank you so much for streaming Teach Easy English.
We appreciate your support so much. Keep practicing your social English every day to upgrade your skills. I'm Dave.
And I'm Daisy. Happy learning, everyone. See you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.